Hey guys, welcome back to the Messy Workbench. Sorry I've been MIA for a little bit. Just had a little bit of, you know, existential dread, I guess. And just haven't really been feeling like working on models lately. I did do a few other projects, though, that were a little more, I don't know, I guess had a little bit of more of immediate gratification to them. But due to a mess I created in my living room, I feel like this is probably more fun. So, something happened, which you guys aren't going to believe. So, been working on this model for months, you know, drilling and filing and sanding. Well, I finally glued a couple of pieces together. I know. I know. I mean, yeah, I glued on a bunch of resin parts that I made. These are the first two parts of the kit that I've actually glued together, and currently the only ones. And that is pretty sad. So I sanded off the phaser array down here. I filled in the stand hole. I'm still not entirely positive what I want to do for a stand. I do see people move it back here, which I guess is fine. I guess. But I do feel that the center of gravity is more towards here, but I also feel like that's going to be a real pain in my butt. And I already got IBS, so I don't need any more pain there. So I've seen people move it here, which doesn't look that bad, but also it just kind of looks like, it looks weird because there's supposed to be details there. So I guess I just figured out that I'm going to put it over here. So on this part, it's much easier to just get rid of all the details. Just get rid of them. The majority of the detail down here gets replaced anyways. There is a spot here where there's just like a little blob, and I think it's a light. I haven't referred back to my reference pictures or anything like that, but it's LED shaped, so I just put a small hole there just to mark it. I don't know the overall size because I didn't think to measure it before I sanded it off. But anyways, so photo etch parts, now be it green strawberry or paragraphics, has replacement details for down here. They do not have anything for here, which that's fine. I mean, even if they came on the photo etch sheet, it wouldn't be the right shape anyways because it is a 3D image, 3D structure. You know, it's not just a flat piece. So I went ahead and modeled one of them up. I just made it flat on the bottom. This is a flat enough spot that it doesn't really make a difference, but I'll make that available for everybody per usual. So another thing I did down here is I sanded off where the tractor beam emitters. I'm assuming that's what they are because that's what somebody else called them. So these parts are made by, well, they were designed by Mistake Man. Now I'm currently printing more because I only printed two and I dropped one, and I just didn't orient this one right, so it's, I could make it work, but why bother? So that being said, once I get all of this sorted, and then I guess I got to put a huge ass hole in the middle there, then I can start on the lighting. Or, you know, I'll fill the windows and everything. Now, this part, even if you're not going to light it up or anything like that, this seam is terrible. I mean, it bonds just fine, but it's a really weak joint for like how much leverage is here, and it has a knack for splitting open, especially back here. Actually, this one up here, this has always been a trouble spot. So I reinforced this joint with dental acrylic or fingernail acrylic, whatever. I did the same up here. I mean, I've seen people go as far as take like a little bit of the photo etch fret, I guess I would say, and glue that in up there to keep that from popping apart. I'm sure this will be fine the way it is, and if it's not, then I'll do that. But it's good, it's strong, so I can go ahead and move forward with it. So after seeing what the acrylic has done to the paint on the inside, definitely going to do all of the windows before I put any primer on the outside. So, but overall, it's actually starting to look like something. I did take a little bit of a break on the saucer. I mean, technically, I took a break on the whole kit, but I did file the details on this off. Now, I don't know if I'm going to use... I have no dexterity. I don't know if I'm going to use this part. I mean, I might not. I don't know. It'll just require me to take care of a seam around the edge here, which I guess isn't that big of a deal, especially because I already nicked it, and I already got to fix it anyways. I got to fix it up here, too. I haven't finished cleaning this up. I don't know how much of this I need to take off, because I just haven't really focused on it yet. Now, as far as clearing this off, I hit it with my deburring tool, or no, it's a die grinder, and got that down in the majority, and then I just came back with files and sandpaper. But that being said, the plastic gets so thin that you really need to back it up. So I just backed it up with acrylic, obviously. I did drill the holes for the windows. I haven't finished filing them out. When I applied the decals to mark those out, they came off the backer really hard, like really hard. Excuse me. So I'm hoping the rest of the decals aren't like that, because I do like the way they look, and I don't know as far as what's out there for aftermarket decals. I don't know if they're just laser printed or if they're silk screened. I don't really care for the look of the laser printed ones on account of the fact that, like, a lot of cases they're fine, but a lot of times they just kind of look pixelated, and I don't think it looks that good. Plus, like, if I'm going to apply decals on all of these and I have to paint them white to get the true color of what the decals are supposed to be, then I might as well just paint them the color they're supposed to be and then not use decals on them. All that being said, I think I'm ready to go. I think. This isn't the first time I started shooting this video. I started shooting one and I glued on the lower phaser array and then realized, like, I didn't measure or prep for it or anything like that. So I glued it on pretty crooked and then I had to grind it back off. But, get out of here. I think I'm going to start with gluing on these details. Now, this time, I did mark it. And these replacement phaser banks, they do look great. I was really concerned about how much of a hassle it was going to be when I downloaded them and I was looking at the files. I was like, is that something I really want to do? But so far, I'm really glad I did. Now, I normally use I normally use Gorilla super glue, and I've also used this super glue, which I didn't really care for. I know a lot of people love this, but uh, I think I've used it more for light blocking things than anything else. And then the things that I was actually trying to glue with them, it just didn't really pan out that well for me. So, sorry, I had a phone call. So I normally use the Gorilla Super Glue, and that bond's really good and really hard. So I'm gonna give this a try. It's a thin super glue. I'm assuming you guys could probably read them. Anyways, so it's thinner. I'm hoping that it will play a little more nicely with the Uncure debonder. I mean, I've seen people like literally like plaster that stuff all over it and have no problem whatsoever. But the times that I've tried to use this, it starts dissolving the plastic before it starts dissolving the glue. So I'm hoping, because I'm pretty sure these are actually the same company. They're both from Hobby Lobby. But I don't know. I have no idea. We'll learn together as one. So, without further ado, I'm finally going to glue this on. Again. Now, hopefully, I don't get this everywhere. Because the one perk to the Gorilla Super Glue is it's kind of slightly more gel-like, I guess I would say. Oh no. Oh, that's a lot. Oh my god. Oh no. Oh no. Oh yeah, my fingers. Oh yeah. Perhaps today is a good day to die. Come on. All right. That looks kind of weird. Again, I glue these on before I cure them, so that way I do have a little bit of flex out of them. Granted, I'm sure you could just mix some Tenacious into your mix. I don't have any, and I don't feel like buying any right now because I'm being cheap. But I think, yeah, that looks pretty solid. Of course, I have to kind of light block a little bit again because I had sanded off the one phaser strip before I'd ever glued it together, so I had to add backing to it after the fact, so light does shine through it. But that looks nice, and we're done. All right, so this time I'm gonna use tweezers. I didn't do that last time. At least the grid details on that kind of hide the texture of my fingerprint. Silver linings. So even though I am hopeful that the debonder will work well with this, I'm still not going to try and make a mess with it. So odds are I'm probably going to make a bigger mess with it. Because I know me. Wow. So that actually doesn't look terrible. Almost like I knew what I was doing. Which I don't. So when it comes to the hull on this kit, the panel lines here get really vague once it comes out. They kind of wash over into this section. So I've been using this saw for redefining the panel lines on this. I literally just kind of slowly inched my way around it, and then I just soften the edges with Maya glue. Back here, there's these two pie-shaped pieces. On the inside, that ridge is completely gone, just because of the way it's molded. So I will most likely just completely sand these off and then just glue some cardstock on there. But I will do that at a later time due to the fact that I want to just kind of make a little bit of progress and feel like I'm actually doing something with my life. So we have a bunch of parts to install. Finally. This is the most I will be... Yeah, this is the most I've used of this kit. So you do have to sand the section smooth on here and on here. And again, this is regardless of whether or not you go green strawberry or paragraphics. So I'd like to start doing that right meow. So that looks like it's this sheet. Get out of here, because I hate you. A blob of glue there, it was ruining my life. Okay, it wasn't ruining my life. That's what my ex did. Ha, dark humor. Alright, so, beginning with the back, we want 23, 24, and 25. And that is... Oh, cool, it's not super tiny. Now, I've seen people use all sorts of special tools for doing photo etch stuff. I do have a bending jig. I don't think we'll need that for any of these parts, but as far as cleaning them up goes, obviously there's those little tabs that you got to clean up. When you do them, I like to hold onto the part like that, and definitely just a sanding stick does the job. Go parallel with the part. Don't go like that. Don't pull down on it, because it'll file it off really fast that way, but it'll also probably bend the part. So now, none of these parts are going to really benefit from being annealed or anything like that. They're all pretty thin anyways. So there's a couple of parts that glue on here, but I think I'm going to glue this down first. It looks like it goes about like that. Oh man, that looks rad as hell. Maybe I should place the other part down first. I probably don't need to. You know what, I can wing it. I've been flying by the seat of my pants this whole time, so why stop now? So I think I will add a slight bend to that. So I found that when you're, hey, I think my settings changed. So I found that when you're trying to bend photo etch stuff, it's never going to bend perfectly, and you don't really ever want to use a round, a circular shape rather, because it just never really does what you want it to do. Alright, so we're going to glue this down. Cool. That's what I wanted to do. Alright. Huh. One piece down. One piece down. Just alright. There's one. Where's the other one? Where is the other one? You know what? I'm just gonna come out and say it, like, just don't buy this. Don't buy this. It doesn't work very well. It just ruins the plastic. It didn't do anything to the glue. And it's not just this brand, it's pretty much any of them. It didn't do anything to the glue and it already started deforming the plastic. So just don't buy that. Alright. Let's try this again. Hopefully for the last time. Because I would love to do something more today than struggle with this. Alright. Guys, don't look at it too hard, okay? I don't want it to move again. Alright. That should be the last piece that I need for down for this fret. Gosh, you guys. I just gotta get some debonder that actually works, and then I can kind of clean up those areas, but that does look a little better than it did. So that's cool. That's cool. One day I'll be able to pick stuff up. Alright, so next part we need is 30. So that would be this one. There's subtle differences between the two parts. If you mix this up with the other one, I'm sure no one. Okay, so now we just need the 31s, which might not be on this fret. It's 39. Yeah, 31's on this fret. Honestly though, being that it's just a brass rectangle, might be this might be a more enjoyable experience with styrene. I guess either side could go down on this one. I will say, I'm not really loving this glue. This goes... Yeah, I'm a little forward on it, but it'll be alright. Alright. Alright, so off camera, while these finish printing, I just went ahead and cleaned them up and put them on, and it feels really nice to finally make some progress on here. I still have to sand these off, and I'm not entirely sure what I have for cardstock around, if I have something in that thickness. I'm not entirely sure what it is, but I'll figure it out. I did glob a whole bunch of tulip in there, which I probably could have just stuck some aluminum foil tape down. That probably would have been a little bit more efficient, but this works. Works just fine. I haven't glued this in yet. Obviously, you can see that. Sometimes you just say things and it's just like, am I dumb? Usually. Anyways, I haven't decided what I want to do with the photon launchers yet. That section does stick out a little proud. I don't know if I have like a material that I can use, like a clear rectangular rod stock or something like that. I don't think it's worth printing, but I also don't really know how else I would build it up to be proud of the surface. That being said, when this goes in place, I don't know for certain. Like, I have to just look up and see what I'm supposed to have for a reveal here. Like, I don't know if this step is supposed to be there, or if I need to kind of file it to make it sit more flush, or if I actually need to make it so it sticks out just a little bit more on this side. I'm not sure. I'll figure it out for sure. But anyways, I appreciate you guys struggling through this with me. I'm very I'm not very skilled with the photo etch. The majority of what I've done for photo etch is like the shuttle bay on the refit, where if you messed up, no big deal, because it was in a shuttle bay. I do want to find a better debonder, preferably one that works, and go from there. I do have a little bit of bleed through, nothing terrible, but just enough to make it like, I just want to be able to have it on hand and clean stuff up as need be. So, on to the next one. Thanks for watching, guys.